familiar. If you remember when there was this protest, National Assembly, we want direct. I saw his face very. So let's give him the mic. Let's hear him talk, because we need such bold people. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I think I'm also. Thank you for being here. I'm pleased actually. And in his presentation, or from the ADC must be, because the Nigerian people want to follow through. So where I only pick hole in what he said was the long emphasis on ADC adopting the strategy of the APC. It sends a wrong signal, and I think that we should also compel the media not to bring that out to the public. Thank you.
So,
all right, for avoidance of any doubts, when I say ADC should adopt the strategy of APC, I did not say adopt strategy in corruption, adopt strategy in stealing, adopt strategy in insecurity, terrorism. That's not what I meant. I said adopt strategy. Okay, in 2014, 2013, you can tell President Muhammadu Buhari and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they are not of the same class when it comes to economic, financial, whatever you can think about, right? But the man step aside and say, you go and represent us. That's what I meant. Learn from that aspect, right? So that's what I meant, please. Thank you.
Okay, modification.
Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and especially the gentlemen of the press. So just to, in addition to what he just said, you know, you can also learn strategies from your enemy. Yeah, so there's absolutely nothing wrong in learning a strategy that worked for your opponent. I don't want to use the word enemy now. So if your opponent used a strategy and it worked, you can refer to it at least. So what he meant, from what I heard that he said, we know, is that it follows logic that if power is still in the South for 4 years, that power should continue to stay in the South for another 4 years. And so he referenced the APC, even though they didn't pay us, we didn't even need to mention their name. He referenced it, he mentioned it, but he could have just used any other party, as a matter of fact. But I think I do understand, in fairness to you, I understand where you're coming from, so we don't send the wrong signals. Thank you so much.
Once again, it is the COPDEM NEC Meeting and Strategy Conference 2026. Anything you have observed from what has been said, you want to add, you want to question, you want to challenge, feel free. Just raise your hand. Okay? If you don't have anything now, we will go on to the next speaker. And please listen attentively, because whatever they are saying, those are the things we'll be adopting at the end of the day if we agree with them. Because at the end of the day, we should have a communique. Well then, thank you so much. I didn't catch your name again, sir. Thaddeus. COPDEM. Okay, youth leader. FCT. And PRO. Just use the mic and introduce yourself properly.
Well, I'm Thaddeus, and I'm a member of COPDEM. I'm also representing the youth actually in COPDEM. But I'm also the PRO, Barrier Council ADC. Thank you.
We like such people in opposition. They encourage life into the system. Thank you so much, Thaddeus. So without further ado, let's call on our next speaker, Alhaji Gambari. Please, a round of applause for him.
Yeah, good afternoon once again, my fellow compatriot. It's a privilege to be here once again. My name remains Ismaila Gambari Abdullahi. Okay. So, please, my chairman, I notice one thing before I start my presentation. What I noticed has become a serious problem in this country. Anywhere you go within Nigeria, power as in electricity becomes problem, a serious problem. In fact, when we come here, they've taken this light more than so it becomes so annoying. A kind of a country that have governance that people really rely on to save life and properties at this age, a jet age of 2026. Now, we're now rationing light. It's so unfortunate. It's really, really disheartening. And you know, I really felt bad when I saw other countries celebrating 100 years, 200 years of no blink of electricity. And here we are. We are blessed with all the resources that need to be given. But mismanagement, misgovernance took us to this level we are today. It's so unfortunately. So this is an opportunity, a kind of I wanted to speak on selection strategy, as in candidate candidate selection strategy. That's what I prepared for. Though I got this information very late, just last night. I couldn't prepare very well, but the few arrangements I was able to make, I will make those presentations. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. In any democracy, in any democratic system, the process of selecting candidates for political office or offices hold immense importance for the conduct of election and functioning of public offices. The selection candidates typically takes place within the framework of the law, because it has been provided down by the law, despite the fact that the selection process of political office holder in Nigeria, especially within the political parties, we have different type of selection. Sometimes our political godfatherism influence the who becomes who, because everything seems to be monetized. If you don't have money, you don't get to where you're supposed to be. Even as a result of this, people prefer money bags, that is the bourgeois, selecting, using their power to select whoever they felt is the best candidate, imposing them on the masses, which is so annoying, so terrible. They choose this over competence. When you have competence people that can actually manage, people with experience, people with clean record that can actually handle the activities of governance, they were deprived. They make sure they did not get to. Just of recent, some people have started arranging to buy form to show their interest on vying for any political seat. You won't believe that to pick a ticket for a governorship candidate, you want to pick a form, expression form. Thank you, expression form. They so exaggerate the price such that common man like us cannot even get close You are talking about chairman paying how much? 5.4 points. So you can imagine somebody that wanted to come and serve. You want to come and serve your country, your people, and you are being subject to pay and a kind of, I don't even know how to describe that price, paying 4 million naira just to pick an expression form to contest that you want to provide service. All those things make it so difficult for us to get to where we are supposed to be. And I'm seizing this opportunity to tell us, by God's grace, the ADC has come to stay. In fact, is a common, ADC has become a kind of household name. Everybody talks about ADC, ADC, ADC everywhere. So, during the campaign of council, this council just passed the council election, FCT council, despite the fact that we all know what happened during that election. A lot of what's not supposed to be. A lot of hanky-panky, a lot of wurus, let me use that language. And despite that, you can see the position the ADC still maintain without spraying money. I'm proudly saying it that ADC candidates did not buy votes from anybody. I witnessed this at a first hand because I'm one of the member of observers and I'm fully ADC deputy chairman, do say word. So we witnessed all what happened, all what took place there. So, without saying or do, I'm seizing this opportunity to tell us that any candidate that gets out and be buying votes, you want people to vote for you and you are paying them, you are buying, giving them rice, giving them beans, and people expect you to perform. Most of those people, they took it as an investment. When I pay ticket or form to pick form for millions of naira, and I get to that very seat, I would like to recoup that money back. It's a business. Some of politicians, they even collect loan. Some took loan to make sure they get to where they're supposed to be. I remember one of our brother came out and told Nigerians shamelessly, telling us that it's not the votes of Nigerians that took him to that seat, that he paid for that seat. All of us know him. He said it openly that no Nigerian voted for him, that he used his own money to get to that very seat. It's so unfortunate. So at this point in time, I want to urge all ADC members that are in-house, please take this news back to the National Secretariat. We don't want the business as usual. The way people use money to buy position, thereby depriving people, the real people that really want to serve. They were being they blocked them. They don't want to come up. And as a result of this, I want us to know, just like my brother was saying here, that zoning of candidateship, it has become necessary. In fact, they have to, for the benefit of equity and fairness. All right? This time around, we felt the northerners, that is the north, have taken a fair share of what? To be one Nigeria, to be fairness to all. Please, I'm urging all of us to zone this election of 2027 presidential election should be zoned to the south, where it's supposed to be. Yes, I've told all my northern brothers and sisters, this is no longer business as usual. You don't just say, because we are northerners, we own the country. Honestly, is a misconception. Nigeria is a mix of diverse ethnicity. We have different languages, different religions, you know. It's not only north. We have south, we have east, we have west. They are all Nigerians too. It has come to a time when, let's be sincere, let's tell ourselves the truth. We, especially, I'm making reference to the northern, because I'm from that part of the north. So, please, this time around, we are zoning and we support fully that ADC candidate in ADC, it comes 2027, we want that very presidential ticket to be zoned to the south, and that is what we are all craving for. And by God's grace, it will be. By God's grace, it will be, inshallah. Because we felt the northerners, our brothers, that has been in power for years, at a time, we take a look at what have we achieved. We now narrowed everything down to most of our leaders in the north, they are not after betterment for anybody. They were only there for their own selfish interest, their immediate family. All right? It's disheartening when you go to far north. You see Almajiris, youth, children, abandoned on the street. It will surprise us here to see somebody that is age of 14 or even less than 14. You see them on the street. You see them on the street holding a pan, begging. And we, the northerners, we have been the one in the helm of affair for years. Let's be sincere. We are the one ruling for many, many years. Now, no any achievement to show for it. No any meaningful development for it. Instead, our youth have been introduced to terrorism. We go about killing, slaughtering, maiming, destroying properties without anything that will improve the life of common man. Of recent, I was in Kano. I noticed Alhaji Aliko Dangote. I'm calling name now. He built a center of knowledge and excellence where people can go there to acquire knowledge. In fact, the house was so big because they took us around the whole building, from barbing salon, women head, in fact, up to technology side where they are building Okada. They are making Okada machine. They are making Keke Napep here in Kano. So, but when we got there, we met everywhere shut down, locked down at the gate with dust covering everywhere, wasting. When we find out everything, we find out that Dangote spent billions of dollars to make sure that project stand. In fact, we heard that it's one in Africa, that center. Some people even wanted to, from other neighboring countries, they want to come there to come and study there. Honestly. But when we get there, oh, it's so unfortunate. Most of their computers, their equipment, everything were covered in dust and cobwebs. Their generator, 1,000 kVA generator, about 4 standby. They don't even use NEPA light. But this facility was destroyed. So, like I was saying, we did not. We need to sit up. So it is time to do the right thing. And the right thing is, let the zoning be taken to the south. Let's see what they can do. Thank you. So, yes, prior to the 2023 election, all right, there was intense competition among political aspirants in the incumbents, especially within the All Progressive Congress, that is APC. The expectation was that due to the support of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Mr. President now, what he did to Mr. Muhammadu Buhari in 2015, during the election of Mr. Alhaji Buhari. So, Tinubu now came up that there would be a reciprocation of what he did. That what he did during 2015 in helping Buhari to become president. That is what he wants to get back. That he came openly telling us that Emilio Khan, that is the next in line, which means the respect of democracy has been defeated, which means whether you vote him or not is Emilio Khan. Whether we like it or not, he is the next president. That is the Emilio Khan syndrome. We all were against this. That this will affect, if this kind of attitude should go on, it will affect us in selecting the real people, that is the real candidate that will do the right thing. So as a result of this, we advise all our members, especially the ADC, at this point, to please, we should not rely on money bag in selecting our candidateship. Money should not be a requirement.
A round of applause for Alhaji Gambai Ismaila. That was powerful. Any question, anybody challenging his position? He made some things very, very clear. Monetization of the... Okay. All right, so from here, he spoke on the candidates selection strategy, which is one of the sub-themes. Remember that the theme for the conference and our next meeting is there. Monetization of the selection process. Do we agree with him on that? Yes. Godfatherism should not be part of ADC strategy. Do we agree with him on that? Yes. Candidates in position over competencies should not be part of ADC strategy. Do we agree? Yes. And then we should not rely on money backs to sponsor us and then later on force us to serve them by kneeling down. Do we agree? Yes. You just agree everything? Yes. Or somebody has whether you have a question or contribution. Okay, yes. Please, right on.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ambassador Jonathan from National Youth Assembly of Nigeria. I'm the clerk, Ambassador Jonathan Gale.
Okay.
From National Youth Assembly of Nigeria. National Youth Assembly of Nigeria.
Okay.
I'm the clerk of the city.
Please carry on, Jonathan.
Okay. I want to speak on the monetization when it comes to not using money for election. Yeah. And I happen to be a DG of a campaign, ADC. Sir, I'm not seconding to vote buying, but when you give praise to ADC, some of us are in our rooms crying because they did not even pay their agent. Over 100 agents comes to my house. Even here, they still call my phone for their payment.
Which election?
ADC. I'm not saying Labour Party. ADC. This very election. So
this is a convention, not election. Which of the elections precisely?
The area council elections.
Okay, area council.
FCT. Sorry. Okay. FC election. So there is a power and influence of money. I'm talking about vote buying. I'm talking about honor now for money. You see, I happen to go around the world.
Okay.
Word. Google that area council. the ward where I served, I was the DG, so I was privileged to visit all the 51 polling units. And the difference between the ruling party and our ADC is that some votes were not bought because they want to buy their vote. They honored some individuals that have to trek from different places to come and vote in the scorch of the sun. And many people approach me myself that, sir, please, we want to drink water. I had no 5 naira to buy them water. Sir, we are trekking for about, the place is about, what will I use? Let me use meter, about 2,000 meters.
From where to where?
The distance. You don't know Gogolada, why should I start saying that? That's why I'm using meters. Okay, from Kutunku to quarters to vote.
Okay,
Kutunku ward to quarters.
Okay.
To vote. Okay, I'm trying to round off fast. So please, whatever it is, they could not have transport in the heat of this. You see.
Okay, so Ambassador, are you saying that we should collect money if giving money on the polling unit?
No, we have canvassers in elections
okay.
who canvass for a party for people to vote for.
Okay.
And what I'm saying is that you honor people coming out to even vote you. You don't buy vote. So you.
Okay.
You may reason it as buying vote, but it's
so,
not. We're in the field.
So you are saying buying them pure water, keeping water by the pool,
render them services.
Good, something like that, so
yes.
that those who have come can drink. Right?
Yes, it goes a long way in winning us more votes.
Okay.
So we should not like take away money from it.
But that should be the internal arrangement of the party. Okay. So
in alignment with the candidate.
We'll take note of that, Ambassador.
Yes.
Please, a round of applause for that contribution. We will discuss it in details. Everybody is free to air his opinion. Now, before we go there, we have some of our participants, what do you call them? Speakers online. And you know, sometimes network, here it is 2 p.m., right? There may be 2 a.m. and they want to sleep and go to work. So, I don't know if we can have... Okay, you must... it cannot be in the same room. There's going to be a hall back. That mic needs to go outside the room so that it will not come in and go out at the same time.
Hold on, please.
Yeah. Even if it's direct to the sound console. The speakers are there. So it's when sound comes out from a device and goes back, the speaker and the microphone in the same proximity, it will bring that call back. All right.
Ayo, can you talk now?
Yes, I can. I believe everyone can hear me. This is clear.
Yes, now. Can you bring your auxiliary cable? You don't get it. Like I won't play music from phone. You don't want to get it.
Okay, I think we would continue while the tech guys get ready. How far? We can continue, right? Okay, so we're continuing. Ayo, sorry. I guess Ayo is from the United States of America. She's one of our speakers for this Congress, a member of COPDEM in diaspora. So we're going to continue while the technical team see how they can get us connected without the hallback. Lawrence Okeke, the ADC State Secretary for Anambra State, who is also a member of COPDEM. So, Pastor Lawrence, over to you.
Thank you so much, my national chairman. I'll be speaking on the topic, a path out of hunger. The speech is on path out of hunger, subtopic opposition solution to chronic hunger in Nigeria. There is not just a hunger in this country, Nigeria, but we discover that the hunger in Nigeria is chronic. A few moments ago, somebody was talking about, giving people something at the polling units. If not the situation of Nigeria, someone will not be demanding as low as 500 or 200 naira to vote or to buy pure water. There is a chronic hunger in this country. This is the urgent, empathetic, and solution-oriented. We are going to look at it from different angles. We have to acknowledge the reality. Fellow Nigerians, we do not need statistics to tell us that our country is hungry. We see it in empty plates of our children. We feel it in the markets where prices change every hour, every minute, even every second. Today, some of us went to buy diesel at the rate of 1,000, only to get there is already 1,200. Nigeria is bleeding. And we hear it in the silent desperation of parents who work from dawn to dusk, yet cannot afford a bag of rice. Today, a bag of rice is about 100 or 100 plus, yet minimum wage is still below 70,000. Today, Nigeria focus on food security. Food security crisis, there is no longer a threat. It is our daily reality. But I am not here today just to lament. I am here to offer a different path. Hunger is not our destiny. It is the result of policy failures. And where there is a failure in policy, there is an opportunity for a solution. APC and former opposition parties have failed, and that's why we are bringing ADC as a solution. The core pillars of the solution: security as the foundation of agriculture. We cannot talk about food in our farmers. We cannot talk about food if our farmers cannot go to their farms. The first step is our solution. The first step in our solution is a radical decentralization of security. State and local policing. We must empower local communities to protect their own ancestral lands. Safe corridors. Before I move on to safe corridors, the Middle Belt has been bleeding because of insecurity. Benue, the food basket of Nigeria, has so much IDPs and they cannot protect their lives, talk more of their lands. We need security. Safe corridors. Establishing agro-security zones where the military and local forces prioritize the safety of planting and harvesting season. Ending the imported hunger cycle. There is imported hunger cycle and we need to end it. We are a nation blessed with fertile lands, yet we spend billions in foreign exchange to import what we can grow. We remember our former President Goodluck Jonathan focused majorly on this before he left office. And I know that ADC will do better in that. Currency stability. By fixing the volatility of the naira, we lower the cost of imported fertilizer and machinery. Direct subsidies. Instead of vague handouts, we propose a direct-to-farm credit scheme that bypasses middlemen and put resources directly into the hands of those with debts under their fingernails. Infrastructure from farm to table. %40 of our food rots before it ever reaches the market because of bad roads and lack of storage. Solar powered cold ops. We will incentivize the private sector to build solar power storage in every local government area. Rural Road Revolution. A dedicated fund focused solely on connecting rural farm belts to urban centers, ensuring that food moves faster and cheaper. I happen to pass on routes from Sokoto to Calabar, from Lagos even to Katsina, and if you move from east, especially Asaba to Ekpoma to all this area, Kogi and Benue, you'll find out that the roads are very bad, very, very bad, and this is a problem, and we are here to offer the solution. The call to action. The current administration tells you to be patient. How long are we going to be patient? I tell you that hunger has no patience. My brother, my sister, we do not need more poverty alleviation programs that only alleviate the poverty of the people running them. Those who are coordinating the poverty alleviation are only alleviating themselves. We need a fundamental shift in how we treat the Nigerian farmer. and the Nigerian consumer. We offer a vision where made in Nigeria is not a slogan, but a meal on every table. We offer a vision where no child goes to bed with a hollow stomach, while our leaders live in hollow luxury. The conclusion. Before I go to the conclusion, like the former speakers have said, we need best hands for the job. And we have tried, the last speaker talked about the North has tried, and yet the hunger is increasing. Why not give it to the South? And we know, even in the South, the present government has tried for this 3 years, if I'm correct, and yet the hunger is increasing. We need someone that knows the work very well. The conclusion. The wealth of a nation is not measured by the size of its GDP, but by the health of its people. Let us choose a path where food is affordable, available, and abundant. Before I say God bless Nigeria, we know that a man that is looking forward to grab the ticket of ADC is coming from my own state, Anambra State. And I'm proud to say that if ADC will give him the opportunity, coming from the South and also from South and also from my own state.
So we have had Lawrence Okeke from Anambra. Please.
Talking about, I will add another designation to what my national chairman already said. So besides being the chairperson of COPDEM in Imo State, I also double in supporting capacity to my national chairman as a DDG for the directorate of this, what we are doing with the ADC, which is what I'm going to be talking about now. All right, so I almost said praise God. You know what you're used to. All right, so because I do that a lot. All right, so we have a relationship with ADC. Because why it's important for us to talk about the relationship that we have with ADC is because of what's going on nationwide. In terms of the relationship COPDEM built that attracted the coalition that you see today. Before we came to ADC, there was no coalition. Yes or no? Yes. All right, so we have a relationship. I don't want to say we had, because we still have that relationship, by the way. So we have a relationship with ADC that we are proud of. And at every opportunity that we get, we make sure that we tell the world about that relationship. It helps to keep us in focus, us being us and ADC, so that for some people who say, oh, it's just a structure, it's not a political party, they need to understand the virility of what we do, the importance of who we are, not just to a political party, but to Nigeria and her citizens. So I'm going to just go through. We already know who we are. COPDEM is an acronym for the Coalition for the Protection of Democracy, which simply is a citizen-driven political advocacy and mobilization platform. And we are committed to good governance, the protection of democracy, as our name implies, and of course the defense of the people's mandate. Because in Nigeria, that's a problem. You see, these things that we just read out now, which we stand for, you cannot divorce them from Nigeria of today. If we get these areas right, we have gotten Nigeria working. And that's who we are. That's how important COPDEM is to the Nigeria and the fabric of our society. And so, we are not a platform of convenience. You know what platforms of convenience do? They want sponsorship. They're waiting for people to come and they want to be bottle-fed. They want to be everything done for them. COPDEM is self-sponsored. We have Nigerians in the diaspora who are very passionate about what we are doing. When we say we are self-funded, it means that members of COPDEM fund COPDEM. So we are not plugged into any special kind of relationship that fits us. And so we are proud to come on national and global television and say COPDEM is a self-sponsored organization. So it's not an organization of convenience where we are just prepared to say the highest bidder pays us, and that's where we are able to stand tall and speak truth to power at all times. And that's what we've been doing here without any fear or favor. We are a movement born out of frustration with the systemic failure. But we are sustained by the conviction that Nigeria can and must work for all of us. So we are all convinced. That's why no matter what it is that we experienced even at the last election, we're still moving. Some people are discouraged, maybe discouraged, but COPDEM, not us. And if you know how much we did as an organization, even in the last just concluded election and the ones before it, all the pockets of elections that have happened in different states, in Anambra State, yeah, we didn't get there quite okay, but we made impact. So we know that our process is continuous and we will not give up. We'll continue till we get to where we are going. All right, so it was this conviction that propelled COPDEM to cry out to opposition parties across Nigeria. We recognized early that fragmented opposition politics only deepens national decline. Nigeria, we want coalition over isolation. We want people over platforms. We want country over personal ambition. If you notice again, like I said before, you will trace Nigeria's problem to these things. Am I lying? People want themselves over Nigeria. Those who are clamoring for, oh, it's our turn, and it remains their turn even when they are not doing well. That's what we are talking. You see, so you must be there by all means, at all costs, because just one reason is my turn. I don't know when we agreed on that turn. All right, so following this, my national chairman and myself, like I said, I myself being the deputy director for director general for the Directorate of Mobilization, we went into a relationship with ADC when nobody was there. And that's because we had looked through these political parties. We had discussions. We didn't go to ADC because we liked the person who was the national chairman at the time. We came to ADC because as at the time, ADC, after we checked, had the credentials, looked like it, and so we decided to anchor, of course, because we, of course, are not a political party. The way Nigeria is constituted, you have to go through the platform of a political party to make any kind of political change as far as it concerns elections. So we did that. And so we were co-opted into the National Executive Council. We are both members of the NEC of the ADC. And from that point until the consummation of that coalition in 2025, we consistently provided mobilization updates. All that we are doing, all our activities at every NEC meeting, which we never missed. We were ensuring that the voice, all the voices of the grassroots, the civil society and progressive were enforced. All the forces, they remained present at the highest decision-making level of the party. We made sure. I thought we would clap for COPDEM at that point. By the way, we are still making sure that that is happening because our work is progressive. It never stops. All right, so now, on the 31st of January 2025, COPDEM formally spearheaded grassroots entry into coalition through a memorandum of understanding. A lot of people do not know that what we are doing in ADC, we are a civil society organization. We know what it means to just go and follow like Malu. Yeah, so we made sure that there was a documentation of the relationship. It was signed. So those who will ask you, you're just a political party, you're not a political party, they need to understand that we are even doing more than the political party, and I have no apology to render for that. Yeah, so we've done quite a whole lot. That the people who came to join the coalition afterwards found ADC as attractive as they found ADCs, because COPDEM went there first and selflessly built the party. Yes, let's go ahead. We deserve that round of applause. So yes, we signed a memorandum of understanding which culminated in endorsement of this directorate. It was endorsed. So even though we know some things, we'll get there. If I hope somebody will ask it as a question, so I will have to answer it. It won't look as if I put it. I hope somebody asks that question. What's going on with that directorate? So that the whole world can hear. Don't mind me. Sometimes my troublemaking propensity is high. All right. Thank you very much. So yes, we were received with applause and legitimacy in the presence of the NEC of this party and in the presence of INEC. INEC attends party NEC meetings. So when we were received and applauded, INEC was present. And that moment was not merely ceremonial. It was a declaration that the people were organized, that we were intentional, and that we are ready. We still are ready. Very, very ready. So this directorate, let me emphasize, we are not credible. We understand and we agree. Right, not credible. We understand and we agree. Right. So this movement that COPDEM has so willfully supported is targeted at credible, to provide credible alternative, to give or to push for a national rebirth, the change that we want. Now, this is not a personality-driven project. It's not. It is a national rescue mission. And this is one thing that COPDEM has consistently, and will continue to remind the party. This should never change. If it changes, you've lost the people. It should not be a personality-driven thing. It should be a people-driven thing. It's a national rescue mission. And when you're going on rescue, we don't want, imagine sending, if you're going to rescue somebody who is in a fire accident, you will send the fire brigade, right? You send the people who know how to fight fire. You're not going to say, oh, this is the village head. Because it's the village head, he has to be the one to go and fight fire. You want casualties everywhere, including the person you're sending. So we should not forget that this is not a personality-driven thing. It's a rescue mission, and you send the right hands. You go to send the people with the right knowledge, with the right ideas, and that's what this mission is about. Our commitment went beyond rhetoric. COPDEM invested over 20 million of our own money, our own hard-earned money. My money, your money, our money. We invested in the mobilization logistics. We did not ask for the party. We did not ask a naira, a dime from the party. Instead, we even spent our money in purchasing 20,000 membership cards. We bought party registers to support the infrastructure at the grassroots. Yes, let's clap for COPDEM. So we entered a field, I will say it again, when we came. We entered that field armed with our mobilization things and logistics. We entered the field to help the party. When in over 80% of states, ADC was almost non-existent. Honestly, no apologies. It's the truth. I have a state, I come from a state. I know what happened, all right? So, no apologies. And yet, we chose action over complaints. Our mobilization approach has been very deliberate, far-reaching. So, one, let me tell you what we've done so far and we have continued to do. Sustained media engagements and press conferences. This one that is happening here now, of representative aspirants and more than 200 state House of Assembly aspirants nationwide. So we have a platform created for these people who want to run for these positions, and as I speak to you, we did not just assemble such people, wannabes, just because I want to go. We've done a lot. This has been going on for months, and we've been training them. We've been training them. We've sifted through them to narrow down to this number of people to say, at least, when we are ready, we can throw these ones into these arsenals who understand the business, who understand the game, to go in there. And he said each is bringing personal structures. Each of them bringing their personal structures, their followership, and political capital into the ADC. Now, they are not bringing, they have brought. They have already brought them. There were moments of deep disappointments. And I know you know. All state directorates across the country were invited to key engagements, only to discover, to our own chagrin and surprise and devastation, let me add that one, that none was formally recognized. I hope the party hierarchy will get to watch this. I have been a constant face. They will not say they don't know me. I've attended all NEC meetings. I know both the former and current national chairman personally. I've gone to their offices. I was walking in and out in rain, sunshine. My chairman, myself, we attended everything. We've done so much. But to our chagrin and to our heartbreak and devastation, this directorate was not recognized when the wave came. We have been, or we were relegated. We're saying this again so that as we're planning to go into the Congress, as we're planning to go in to the next dispensation and grace of whatever we're doing, that this should be corrected forthwith. None of us was formally recognized. Now, why that experience was painful, it did not weaken our resolve. It did not. Instead, it actually strengthened it. Our determination to see the ADC coalition succeed against all odds, it far outweighs the disappointments that we may have encountered. It still does so. Today we gather not in bitterness, but in maturity. We're taking stock of our progress to reload, to re-strategize, and to move forward together. The energy remains strong. In fact, when the digital platform for this meeting, when we started doing everything that we're doing, we had hit, before we started, we had hit like 5 million. All right? But now, if we tell you how much we have in membership of COPDEM in terms of structure, that those we brought into the party, by the way, that's what I'm talking about. Of course, you know, we have a directorate. COPDEM remains COPDEM, but COPDEM has a directorate of political matters that went into ADC. So we must at all times understand that there is a difference between COPDEM as an entity and the members of COPDEM that went into ADC, okay? So we're talking about the Directorate of Mobilization of the ADC, which was now ceded to COPDEM, the members who came into ADC, right? So we have much more than that number now. So, but we have distinguished leaders, which is clear signal that the grassroots are awake, organized, and expectant. If you go everywhere, in the local governments, in every state, in every ward, in every polling unit, you must find one at least. 2 out of 10 of them will be COPDEM members. Today, COPDEM did not come to ADC to negotiate relevance. No, we have actually brought relevance. We came to help build victory. We are not negotiating relevance. We are not looking for validation. You know who you are. When you know who you are, you don't seek validation. We came to build, and we help them to achieve victory from the ground up. And this directorate stands ready to deepen collaborations. We are ready to strengthen structures. We are ready to mobilize Nigerians at home and abroad in the diaspora for a credible, people-centered alternative. I thought at that point we would just give ourselves a round of applause. Thank you. So once again, I said I wasn't going to waste so much time. I welcome you all, and thank you so much for your patience and our resolve to go together. And then we can transform. As much as they give us leeway to, I hope they're listening. We have the strength that is required. We have the number. We have the expertise. We have the heart. We have the vision. And we have even the potentials to get the money. We are not looking for anybody to give us handouts, which is what might lead me to answer to my brother who spoke the other time. Let me just permit me, sir, to round up with that, to allude to that. If we say that, that means we are negating what COPDEM stands for. Now, I'm not saying that there are such people, but what I do to such people, I bring them into COPDEM. I know those people who understand politics in a certain way only. In my place, when they come and say, hey, but we'll go drink water, I say, yes, let me tell you where you will be. Wait, let me bring you to an association that will open your eyes and you understand what you do beyond give me pure water. So see those people, if you see people who are still asking you for pure water, they don't understand the game. Okay? Now, are we saying such people don't exist? No, they do exist, but please, let's feed them with COPDEM. Let's COPDEMize them. Once you COPDEMize them, they stop to ask, what will you give me? They will start to ask you, where can I put in? And it's very simple. It's a mindset thing. Thank you very much.
What a man can do. Okay, sorry. What some men can do. That is Ambassador Lillian Slick, the COPDEM State Chairman for Imo State. Thank you for making the time. She also is the Deputy Director General for the Directorate for Mobilization, Civil Societies and Progressive Engagements, the mobilization arm that COPDEM subsumed into ADC to ensure its acceptability across Nigeria. We're not doing that for any applause. We're doing that for the sake of our children and our children's children. And that is one of the fulcrum for this gathering. We need ADC to do right. Like she has mentioned, ADC is technically our baby. We grew her from the clutches of political poverty. There was nowhere. How many of hardly? Everywhere we go, they ask the same question. Who is that party? We say they are number 4th during 2023. They say, hey. We all now, we are all COPDEM members. We knew what we face in the grassroots. That's the question. And we preached it. That was in 2020, right from October. You can still hear me.
Can you hear me? I'm just checking in. Can you hear me now? Okay, sounds good.
Please go ahead, Mr. Samani.
Please go ahead, Mr. Samani. 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 Go ahead, Mr. Samani.
I'll share my screen. Can you see the screen? Can you see my screen? Hello? I just want you to confirm if you can see my screen. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. So I'm sharing my screen right now, and Somadina, I will basically be giving you one of the tracks for today's meeting that focuses on the electoral math ahead of 2027. Over the past electoral cycles, 4 electoral cycles, there are certain patterns we have noticed, and having worked actively and behind the scenes in the last elections, the results also gave us a lot more information to be prepared ahead of 2027. So looking at the geopolitical zone outlook, I do have on my
Recording in progress.
I do have on my screen a presentation of what the vote blocks for each of the geopolitical zones look and how the different parties stand the decline. So this is 2023, and in 2023, the registered voters, the accredited voters from the south, from the northwest, it has only marginally increased. However, the performance of the APC in each of this specific area. So if we look at the votes for the APC for 2023, the APC only secured 2.6 million votes in the 2023 election. However, if we go back to 0.4 million votes in the southwest, in 2019, the APC secured 2.2 million, which was slightly lower. And in the last election in 2023, the APC secured just 1 million votes. No, in 2019, the APC secured 1 million votes. And then in 2023, which is what I have here, give me 1 second. In 2023, the APC secured 2.2 million, which is marginally higher than what was secured in which was significant in 2019. But compared to the performance, the APC has consistently grown in strength in the southwest, but in the core areas where we expect a good number of their votes, which is the northeast and the northwest, the strength of the APC has the echo. And the reason why this has been happening is because of the presence of opposition factors from the north and also from the south as well. So if we look at the northeast as well, for 2015, the APC secured 2.8 million votes in the northeast. In 2019, the APC secured 3.2 million, which was an increment. However, in 2023, the APC only secured 1.18 million votes in the northeast. So what we can see clearly from this data is that in the northeast and the northwest, which is the core focus of APC's strength moving into 2027, and it's a region of strong instability, political instability for the APC, considering the interest of the United States in Nigeria, issues related to religious persecution and all of that. The numbers is showing that there is huge opportunity for opposition parties to mop up significant number of votes in the northwest and the northeast to the detriment of the APC. And when we come down to the south east and the southwest, we've also seen in the last election cycle that there has been the emergence of religious. So that can be seen from the performance of Labour Party in the southeast, sweeping over 80% of votes in the southeast. And when we also go to the performance of APC in the south side of the Labour Party in the south-south, the Labour Party swept over 40% of total votes in the south-south, a feat that had never been seen for a new entrant into the election cycle. And so 2027 does actually present us a lot of opportunity. Strong regional strongholds in the eastern. Good luck, Ebele Jonathan, when he was president in the northeast and the northwest, and that was responsible for his loss in the 2015 election. And we do have very great opportunity. The ADC must be aware of its strength. If I go over to the governor's block in pre-2027, what you would find is with a court with a charismatic following in the country, in one part of the country, and also take advantage of political stakeholders in the part of the country where the APC is losing popularity. And to be specific, the ADC must strongly consider a candidate who is very popular in the South, given that it's the town of the South in 2027 as it's been advanced. And then the ADC must also factor in that they must capture the interest of key political stakeholders in the northeast, northwest, and the north central. And with this particular calculation, looking into the opportunities that now present itself in the northeast, the northwest, and the north central, especially the northeast and the northwest, the ADC does actually have a path to victory in 2027. So we do have a road to 2027. We continually monitor the strengths of different parties, different candidates. We look at the governor's profiles. We look at the extent to which the governors can affect popular votes. And what the numbers are showing is that things are not looking good for the current president, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And if the ADC does the right thing, the ADC will have Aso Rock to itself in 2027. Now, with this, I would say thank you very much.
About free to go. Wow, Samadina, that was marvelous. Thank you so much for those analysis. What we have so far here focused on is mostly around Middle Belt and the South, but the insight you have given that there is opening for the ADC to actually capture the Northeast, Northwest, and even the North Central. Do we agree with Samadina's position? Do we agree? Okay, we'll take that as a bold yes. Please, Samadina, if you can remind us, or you could drop on the platform where you are, you just spoke to us from. So we'll be able, I'm checking the National Secretariat platform. Can somebody tell me which continent, United States or Germany? Okay, I'll get to pass that to the House. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have gone through this discussion. There are a few things that we are working on. We have had at least 5 different speakers, and you, members of the National Executive Council of COPDEM, are here. There is no end to speeches. We can continue until tomorrow. But from what we have gathered so far, from the first speaker who spoke about the criteria that must shape the choice of a consensus candidate for the African Democratic Party ADC, due process from Niger State, to the contributions of Alhaji Ismail Galad Gambari from the Federal Capital Territory, the Deputy Chair. Down from the southeast precisely, Anambra, we have heard from Pastor Lawrence Okeke, who is the State Secretary of the African Democratic Congress and also doubles as the Executive National Coordinator for the COPDEM Students Wing, with presence in over 80 tertiary institutions in Nigeria. 2, Imo State, where we heard from Ambassador Lillian Slick Akoha, the Imo State Chairperson for COPDEM. We also have here other COPDEM state executives. I can see Nasarawa State. I can see Anambra State is already here. We have the others joining online, okay, and some have sent representatives. Please, if you are from another state, let me see your hand up. Representing, okay. Oh, there you are at the back. I've been asking after you. Anati, you want to say a word before we read our communique? Okay, please. Yes, please come over. Representatives of the big tents, this is a COPDEM NEC meeting, but we have very, very special guests. Please let him come over and he can say a word or two as we wrap up on the communique. You're welcome, sir. That's your full name and your comments. Just advice. Whether you are speaking on behalf of BTZ or as a person.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Standing before you here is Ante from Oron Nation, from Ruko Ward 2. I represent Akwa Ibom State Coordinator of the COPDEM, and my person and myself as a very senior and patriotic Nigerian member of the Big Tent. I belong to all the groups, CSF, Obedience, whatever you can think of. I'm a very concerned Nigerian. By right, by my age, I'm not supposed to still do this around, but because Nigeria is not yet right, we cannot go home and relax. Even though we might have retired from public service, but we are not tired. We still have to work. I want to see a Nigeria that my grandchildren will not ask me some questions because I won't have answer to it. During the inauguration of the Big Tent in 2024, I made a suggestion that those of us, the elders, should come together and confront the various institutions that are contributing to the problems of Nigeria. These institutions, number one is INEC. The security agencies, we know the role they play in installing criminals as rulers for us. These people are not leaders. People make a mistake of calling them leaders. They are rulers. That's why they don't care about the people. I am here. I talk to a lot of people. I encourage particularly the younger people, the younger generation, to be honest, transparent, to be independent. Money is not everything. Getting money in the way that is not right will not make you can't be proud. There are certain things you own that they are not your own, that you will not be happy or proud to show people. I went to the national headquarters of ADC. I have been preaching to both the old and young there that we need a new Nigeria. And by the grace of God, whether anybody likes it or not, I say it anywhere at my age. I can't be afraid to say the truth. The new Nigeria can only come through one person that I know. Mr. Peter Obi. Whether anybody likes to hear it or not. That is